So with building the Bitcoin revolution for fun and profit, please welcome on stage Erik Cason.
Good morning, Prague. Are you guys excited to be here? Come on, give me more than that. You guys can do better than that. Make it loud in here. Come on, guys. All right, I'm so excited to be here. We have 3 days jam-packed, full of amazing speakers. We're going to cover all of the topics in Bitcoin that are pertinent to you and matter. And it's time to really pay attention for how important what is happening is. Today, we stand at the precipice of a real revolution for Bitcoin. And there's potential that we can actually change the entire global monetary system. And now the best part is this isn't just going to be a fun activist thing. We can actually make lots of money, enrich ourselves, ensure future generations will be able to have the same financial freedom as we have always hoped and dreamed for, and we get to do it while building this revolution together. And so to start this morning, I have this quote from Emma Goldman, a famous anarchist, and it's that a revolution without dancing is not a revolution worth having. And I firmly believe that, because what we're doing with Bitcoin, it's not just about freedom fighting and making sure that people have the right to self-ownership of their money, but it's actually a fun cause. This is a wonderful thing that we're doing, and we have an opportunity to actually bond ourselves into history in a meaningful way by defeating the absolute nihilistic scum that is fiat money, the endemic theft that inflation has represented to our people, and what it will mean if we can actually achieve the dreams that Bitcoin can attain for us. For us to do that, we need to address the problem that there is. And we all are well aware of the problems of fiat money. As we suffer every day under the pressure of inflation, we see the dragnet of surveillance under financial surveillance coming down harder and harder on us. And most importantly, the ability to secure our wealth in a sovereign way that makes sure that our government can't unilaterally steal it from us based on whatever decrees they have. So by us combining what we love to do, which is why we're all here, we get to meet with our friends, we get to talk about technology that we love, and we get to focus on building businesses that can make a huge and meaningful impact in the world. We get to do what we're good at. Unequivocally, in the Bitcoin community, I have met more intelligent, driven, passionate builders who actually create the substrate that makes for the radical change that we hope to achieve here. And finally, this is something that the world needs. There is no other exit. Plan B is the only plan that we have to be able to change this. And we're doing it here together, building the new commons that will become the substrate for the new financial system. And we're going to address that together. Oh, went too far. So here's the problem. You're well aware of these people. You guys love Christine Lagarde. She's great, right? She has her nice little necklace on saying she's in charge. Is that who you want running your financial system? Is that who you want telling you how much money you're going to have to pay for eggs and groceries? No. We all know the endemic problems of inflation. We've all seen it at the grocery store. Every single time we go in, the bill goes up, our grocery bag gets smaller, and there's less money for us to save for the future. And to me, the most alarming and troubling, particularly here in the EU, with some of the draconian legislation that's been implemented, it's clear that they want to implement central bank digital currencies so they can have a dragnet surveillance. They can watch every single thing that you purchase. And if you start buying too much of what they don't like, or you start buying things that they don't approve of, you will be cut off. This is a massive problem that no one in the world, no political system in the world, no politician is addressing. We are the only people that can fix this, and we're doing it together. And the best part is, doing it together, not only are we having an opportunity to build multi-generational wealth for the first time in generations, but we also have the opportunity to free our children from the same financial slavery that we have been pressed under its despotism for far too long. So what the world needs is Bitcoin. And the way that we're going to get Bitcoins in the hands of every single person possible is we're going to build the tools necessary. And beyond that, we're going to do it in a fun, passionate, considerate way that is inclusive, global, and allows for every person who chooses to have self-sovereignty over their wealth. So I want to talk about purpose, because we could go out and build companies for any industry, go ahead and make a new shit coin that we issue, because it's going to change everything, right? We all know how that works out. No. What we're actually going to do is we're going to build excellent companies that support Bitcoin in all of its form. Whether it's going to be through collaborative custody, whether it's through new exchange models, or whether it's through innovative ways of using Lightning to change how we do microtransactions, we're building those companies together. And through that, we're going to address the underlying problems that fiat has created. To this day, the Global South pays more out in remittances to the largest financial entities in the world than almost any other sector of society. It is morally and ethically reprehensible that we allow for these banking monolithic institutions that are guilty of fraud, of laundering money for drug cartels and murderers, and for doing some of the most heinous crimes. They steal from some of the poorest people. And we're going to put an end to that. And finally, we're going to do all of this by creating a fun, dynamic, and profitable solutions that build this revolution together for both fun and profit. And the passion. This is one of the most meaningful things, is you need to have conviction in knowing and understanding what we're building will be hugely successful, and that there is greater opportunity to build wealth in this industry than any other industry that has came before. And whether you love him or hate him, Michael Saylor has proven that you can take any company and you can make it into a Bitcoin company. Through him making that courageous choice that put his entire company on the line by converting their treasury into Bitcoin, he has made MicroStrategy into one of the most profitable companies in the last year. And you can see by how much the stock of MicroStrategy has gone up, how much their treasury holdings has gone up, and how much new opportunity has came to MicroStrategy from making that choice. This is a choice that any business can make today. They can choose to put their treasury and allocate any percentage of it to Bitcoin, and they can protect their employees and the survival of their company against the inflation that is going to continue to wreak havoc and put pressure on them. Bitcoiners want to support other Bitcoin companies. So even if you have a small business and you make a choice to announce publicly that you're going to support Bitcoin, you're going to have your treasury in Bitcoin, Bitcoiners will show up to support you. Because again, we are building a global commons together, and through building that, Bitcoiners want to support one another. And it's important to always remember, as difficult as this can be, and as intimidating as it can be facing down some of these very real draconian government regulations, when you put your passion first and you push that forward, it will lead to profits for your company. So, the prophecy of profitability. It is an ability to make profit, and you do that through putting your passion first. And this is something I really want to emphasize, is that work on the biggest possible problems that you can. Bitcoin allows for you to address new and different problems without needing to worry about all of the regulatory nightmares that come about if you choose to build a Bitcoin-only business. And by you having that drive and passion to push forward, you work on that very ability for you to make your company as profitable as possible and to lead your employees passionately into this new age. And this is something I really believe is that this prophecy can only come from you. You have the vision, you have the idea, and you see it. Push that vision forward. Be the leader in your company, your community, your group of people and friends that says that Bitcoin is going to change the world, and we're going to insist on making that happen together. And by us combining our passion, our purpose, and our presentation, that makes for the prophecy of profits. And now this is a man that I have a deep respect for, Albert Camus. And he famously said, the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Today we're seeing Bitcoin radicalize the political dialogue about what does it mean for people to have self-ownership of money. And it's very clear that governments around the world are becoming very scared of this radical new freedom that Bitcoin embodies so well that governments are now clamping down harder than ever to try to make sure that they can surveil everything that we do, and we need to push back on every single front that there is. And as much as there is an opportunity here, without our passion to actually make this change, without our conviction to lead our friends, family, and community into a new digital age where we all have greater opportunities for freedom, this act of rebellion will be defeated. And I think being here in Europe, particularly in the Czech Republic, where you guys suffered under the horrors of communism, I want to warn that something very similar is going to come back, but much more terrifying, because it'll be a form of technological communism where the government gets to monitor and watch everything you do and everything you purchase. That is not a world that I'm going to stand by and tolerate, and you shouldn't stand by and tolerate it either. And by us making a choice to engage in our passion projects, to do the biggest visions that we can, there's a massive opportunity for us not only to build excellent, profitable companies, but we get to do it together, and we get to have an amazing and incredible time doing it. Over the next 3 days, I know that every one of you is going to meet new friends. You're going to discover new businesses that are doing things that you never thought were possible, and you're going to see the advancement of Bitcoin and its technological features in ways that you didn't think were possible. And that is all from us here, working together, all believing in the same vision that more than 15 years ago Satoshi Nakamoto thought of and produced into the world. And whomever he may have been, that one individual from that one idea that was so big and so powerful and so monumental that today that idea is fundamentally changing society in ways that we will not be able to tell to into the future. And so I want to make it clear that this purpose that we're chasing towards, it's much like the myth of Sisyphus, and his struggle to push his rock up that hill every day. And what's so amazing about this story is that when he got the rock to the top, each day it would always roll back down. And you'd think this would be a horribly defeating thing, that after pushing and trying so hard to get that rock up, after it fell back down, he would feel defeated and angry and upset. But no, he actually felt something different. He felt happy and fulfilled because he had his task, and he knew that the struggle itself is enough to fill a man's heart. When you're building a new startup, it is brutal. It is so difficult to get through those low moments where it looks like the company will fail, where you don't have enough customers, where you're not sure how you're going to make payroll next week. But if you can take on the responsibility of what it means to take on this struggle and the meaningfulness that it gives to each and every one of us to know that we're doing something that is not only ethically right and morally right, but that it has the potential to free humanity into the future and to create more wealth and prosperity than any generation before, it makes this task absolutely essential. So over the next 3 days, as you meet dozens, if not hundreds of new people, and you get to talk about new and innovative technology, I ask every one of you to challenge yourselves, how are you going to level up? And I ask you, go out, find and meet new Bitcoiners and businesses, not tomorrow, but today. Go meet somebody new and introduce yourself and ask them what they're working on, and you will be surprised at how interesting and cool it is. Challenge yourself and others to be as big and as great as possible. Without the community of Bitcoiners that I have met over the last decade, I would have no idea who I would be or what I would be doing right now. But I can absolutely guarantee it would be nowhere near as fulfilling, inspiring, or calling towards me to be my greatest and biggest version of myself. And I only get that from all of you in the way that I get celebrated, in a way that I want to reflect back to you. And this one I think is very important, is ask how you can serve Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will serve you. When I started working in Bitcoin more than 10 years ago at Coinbase, I was just a normal guy doing support. I had no idea about how Bitcoin worked, its interoperabilities, but I knew that that was the one place that I could do something. And through my service to Bitcoin, it gave back to me again and again and again and again. So many times that the only thing I could ask for myself was, how can I give back to Bitcoin in the way that asked me to be the greatest and the biggest that I can possibly be? And ultimately now, getting to the end of the talk, I really want to encourage you. Have fun building the revolution. Meet new people, enjoy what you're doing, and as long as you put that passion into building your business and working with other Bitcoiners in a meaningful way, you will watch the profits flow after that. So I really implore every one of you, over the next 3 days, enjoy all of this. Meet new people who will grow into being great friends of yours, and ask yourself, what can you do to contribute to Bitcoin, and how can you serve it best? Because it'll serve you in return. So with that being said, I want to welcome everyone to BTC Prague. I hope that you have an incredible and amazing time here. And go ahead and follow me on Nostr. If you're not on Nostr, you need to get on there and get off the crap social media that's controlling you and your brain cycles, and own your algorithm and own your data, so when you finally say the thing that gets you cut off, you won't be. Thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy the next 3 days.